Well, Australian boxing champion Jeff Horn shot to international stardom when he beat the legendary Manny Pacquiao to win the world title in front of 52,000 at Suncorp Stadium. He staged an epic battle recently with Michael Zerafa. It's got to be probably the fight of the year, winning a close decision, and now will face Tim Tszyu in April. After a childhood of bullying that almost pushed him to the brink of suicide, Horn is now an advocate against bullying, pushing for nationwide programs in schools. He joins me now in our Brisbane studio. Jeff Horn, great to have you on Sky News across Australia. You've come straight from the gym. You've just finished training, haven't you?
I have, actually.
So you're back in training now. You've got the Tszyu fight in the middle of April. No date, no destination yet, no location yet. Maybe even Townsville's the word. Yes,
exactly. We're fighting on a Wednesday night in April, and there's a few venues kind of up for grabs there for the night, and we'll see who comes to the party, I guess.
All right, let's first of all talk about bullying. Now, you know, you've done a terrific job getting bullying, and particularly in schools, on the map. Take us through what happened when you were a kid and why it's so important that kids understand why bullying is not cool.
Look, I got picked on a fair bit, especially at the start of my school years, just because I didn't really know anyone. I was going in kind of into a school I knew no one of, and just a constant, like, word name calling and stuff that you get. Look, I probably wasn't the one that copped it the most, but I definitely went through bullying of just constant everyday name calling, and pushed me into fights with the people eventually, and I didn't go very well in those, so
that's surprising.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very hard for kids these days, I think, because they go home as well and they've got it straight on the computer.
Yeah.
They can't escape it.
Yeah. What do you say to them now in the schools? What's the message?
Look, just to treat other people the way you'd like to be treated, basically. We should be trying to pick the weaker ones up rather than seeing someone weak out there, and then trying to push them down even further. So we want to do as much as we can to lift these kids, because the worst thing is, and which I hate, and I get shivers down my spine when I have to say it, is when kids are committing suicide over this.
Indeed, and we've seen plenty of that in recent times. All right, so you get bullied at school. When did you first get an inkling that you wanted to box?
I got the first inkling straight after high school. It was the times where it was going to be going out night clubbing, turned 18, and I was like, well, I kind of need to know how to protect myself, and I'd gone through a few fights in school and things. I was like, well, this could easily happen outside, and when you're outside with other adults or young adults, there's knives, there's weapons, there's bats, there's getting punched when you're not looking, and I just thought I need to know how to defend myself in case a situation like this comes up, because I was dating Jo, my wife now at the time, and
got 2 kids now.
Yeah, two good little girls, so doing very well. We're very happy, but I need to know how to protect them when I was out.
Okay, so many good judges have suggested that when Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao in that momentous world title fight a few years ago, it was probably among the top 5 greatest sporting moments in Australian history. Jeff, there were 52,000 there. I was there. It was quite the afternoon, and of course your bogey round 9, you nearly got knocked out, but you came back and beat him. And what did you take out of that? Because when you beat a guy like Manny Pacquiao, you must take tremendous self-confidence out of that.
Yeah, look, I was absolutely elated at the moment of beating him. Like, throughout the whole fight, I was like, I'm beating this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm winning this
fight. You felt
fight.
like you were winning the fight?
Yeah, I was on top of him. I was throwing more punches. I was landing more punches.
Could you hear the crowd?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even though it becomes a blur, because all my focus was him at that moment. It was taking him out, and whatever punch he threw at me, I knew I had to throw back and win those scorecards.
Zerafa beat you in Bendigo, and of course it's well chronicled that your diet wasn't exactly the best. I think there was a suggestion you were eating pizza and drinking Coke, but you got a nutrition in for the second fight. Again, a very good judge said to me the other night, Jeff Horn has presented me with probably my top 2 out of 5 great sporting events. You were gone. You know, they stopped the fight because of your eye. It was the 9th round again. He doesn't want the 9th round. And but then you threw what many consider to be one of the greatest punches of all time and knocked him down, won the fight. And he was a very tough opponent.
Yeah, look, all credit to Michael Zerafa. He is a tough opponent. He comes to win, and he's incredibly strong, and yeah, he's got good boxing ability as well, and he was a hard opponent to beat, but I was able to land a few good jabs on him throughout that fight, and really work my boxing skills that he said I had nothing of.
You were a different fighter in Brisbane compared to Bendigo, weren't you? You could see it in your eyes.
Yeah, look, I knew I had to win that fight. My career was basically over if I had lost that. I'd be fighting for pittance. So I really had to take it to him, and I knew that was the fight I had to win.
And now you're going to fight Tim Tszyu, of course. Kostya Tszyu, one of the greatest Australian fighters of all time. Tim is unbeaten. He's a young gun, and he's very, very good at his craft. That looks like being pay-per-view. Possibly, it could outstrip the Mundine Green fight. That's how much they're talking about this fight.
Yeah, look, it's a massive fight in Australian boxing, and people are calling for it. He's got a massive name, and obviously he's got the last name Tszyu because of his dad. His dad is an absolute legend in the boxing world, that's for sure. Not just in Australia, but the whole world of boxing. Everyone knows that Tszyu name, and Tim's doing incredibly well so far, and I've commentated some of his fights and said how well he's going, but is he ready for this? I don't think so, and I reckon I can get the win over him.
You turned 32 on Tuesday. As you say, you've got two beautiful daughters. You've got a wonderful wife, Jo, who's incredibly supportive. Terrific family unit. You've done well out of boxing. Where do you see yourself going forward after Tszyu? I mean, are we talking about Jeff Horn maybe another 3 or 4 fights? Where do you think you're at?
Yeah, look, I just take every fight as it comes at the moment. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Tim Tszyu is a massive opportunity in a fight in Australian boxing, and people are calling for it. So I'm like, why not? I've put a date on it. If I'm 35, I'm out of this sport. So I've at least put that as an end game. Yep, a definite end. But who knows? I'll take every fight as it comes, like this Tim Tszyu fight.
Another world title possibility?
Exactly. After this one, we're both pretty highly rated in the sanctioning bodies, and we possibly get a world title shot after this.
Who would you be looking at? And would you stay at welterweight, or do you like light middle, or?
Yeah. Look, I'm only focusing on Tim at the moment. He's the one on the radar. He's the one that I'm fighting. So all the others can wait. It's months away that I'd be fighting them anyway. And I've learnt my lesson with Michael Zarafa of looking ahead at a world title. And I missed out on massive money there because of that fight. And I can't do that with Tim.
All right, finally, before we go to a break, Jeff, now, you brought in a nutritionist last time, and you completely changed the way you approached the second Zarafa fight. You'll be doing the same thing with Tszyu?
Yes. I've made it kind of a habit now of it just makes life a lot easier as well. I've got a chef that cooks the food that the nutritionist says, this is what you need to eat, these quantities, and they serve it all up and package it to me, and I just eat the meals. It makes life a lot easier.
Fantastic. Jeff Horn, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.